Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, where our goal is to expand your focus and perspective on life. This is your daily dose of motivation, mindfulness, and so much more. And now, here to help you take your day back, your host, Dan Hafner.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome into another episode of the Run Your Day podcast. Dan Hafner joining you here this morning. It is Wednesday morning this week, the week before Christmas. Holidays are coming up. Everyone's getting excited. Hope you're not getting into that lackadaisical phase before the holidays, because we are in 2019 upcoming mode. Some big stuff is coming up for next year. Hope you're excited. I hope you're prepared and ready to go. So today's topic is this: you hold all the cards. Okay, I want to share this little quick story with you guys. A couple of weeks ago, I woke up with just this sore on my forehead, and I didn't really know exactly what it was. Kind of went through the day, kind of got more sore. Went to the bathroom later on in the day, and could just tell there was this giant zit forming. Like, don't know how it was happening. It just was one of those big, deep ones, like this is probably going to sound a little gross to you guys, but the point is coming soon. Basically, the next day woke up and this sucker is just like ridiculous, right? The next day at work all day, proceeded to basically get made fun of, really because I drew attention to it myself. No one would have said anything if I didn't just say like, oh man, like this thing is killing me on my head. And then sure enough, like, the rest of the day for the next couple hours, people were just like, oh, this, and, different zit jokes and whatever. Cause it was very noticeable. It was on the side of my forehead over here. And it was just like so sore, just one of those ones that you couldn't really pop. And it just was like, it was just annoying. Right. But like, I was conscious of it and thus brought it into existence outside of myself, because that was all I could think about, right? When you have this flaw in yourself or you perceive in yourself, we tend as humans to want to like expose it and, make it known to other people, even though we secretly want it to be hidden, right? But like when something like that is like exposed on the top of your head and everyone that's looking at you can see it, it's very hard to ignore, right? So the lesson in this is that despite your self-imposed flaws or your self-conscious flaws, you are the only one that really sees those. You are the one that makes the biggest deal about your personal flaws. And I want to tie this into the quote of the day that I was bringing with you guys, or that I wanted to talk with you and tie this into it. The quote of the day is this: once you've accepted your flaws, no one can use them against you. Once you've accepted your flaws, no one can use them against you. And I saw that quote today come up on my random feed, and I was like, wow, that is awesome. I want to talk more about that. And it kind of ties in with this, right? There's this willingness for us to just want to expose our flaws, or even just like hide them, among other people. And that hurts us more than anyone, because no one cares in the end. No one really cares what your flaws are. You're actually seen as more confident when you just accept them and own them. Like this is really what happened really at the end of 8 Mile. Eminem just starts rapping about what other people are going to talk shit on him about. And it turns into like the coolest thing ever, right? Because he realized, like, yeah, you're screwed up, you have flaws, you're not a perfect person, but when you own that, you become the most powerful person there. Whoops, dropped my book. You become the person in the most power when you get to that point where you can just own it. You say, yep, I'm screwed up. I have issues. I have these flaws. I'm not perfect, but I choose to move forward anyway. That puts you in such a different light, right? If you kind of have that victimhood mentality of, yeah, I'm not really perfect and I'm not really confident and I'm kind of embarrassed about it and I just kind of want to hide. Like, where does that get you, right? Like, how does that serve anyone a purpose? But if you go into a situation like the previous one where you just say, yeah, you know what, man, like I got flaws, I got issues, I'm kind of an idiot sometimes, like I just, whatever, man, like I just go, I just do things and I screw stuff up and I just learn from it and move on. Like that puts you in such a place of power to be like, man, that he knows what he's talking about. Like that's bold. It puts you in this different light. So this topic of you hold all the cards, you hold the cards of your being, right? Like you hold whatever flaws, whatever strengths, weaknesses, whatever you have, like you hold all the cards ultimately. There's no one else that holds any sway over you or your flaws or what you do or what you say or how you feel. The only way that happens is when you allow someone to have influence over what you think of yourself or how you feel about yourself. That's the only way that those outside forces can influence you and make you feel worse about your flaws. That is the only way. You have to make either a conscious or unconscious decision to let someone in and influence your mind and thus your feelings about how you feel about yourself. So in the end, you hold all of your cards. So as I wrap up today's show, I really want you to think about this in more of a deep, just really a more deep way, right? Like my question for you today is this. What is one flaw about you? It can be anything, whether it's emotional, physical, whatever it might be. Something that you are self-conscious about. What is one flaw about you that you know you need to accept in order to move forward? You just need to own it. For me, this is a tough one. I have a couple. I mean, for me, I think my flaw is that I never can sustain my self-confidence. Like I always have this, this desire to want to just kind of do different things and never really have the confidence of like the full confidence of like owning things and standing behind it, just like I've talked about this whole episode, right? So that's mine. And how I can move past that is just start to be more sure of myself. Just start to actually plant my feet in the ground and move forward and be bold about it and just say like, hey, this is what I'm going to do and this is how I do it, and declare that and really own things, right? So that's mine. That's just my example. I encourage you guys to think about this. What is the one flaw that is making you the most self-conscious that you just need to own, and what can you do to move past it? So that is my daily question for you today. As always, thank you all for joining. Going to wrap up the show here. Dan Hafner of the Run Your Day podcast signing off. You guys have a good rest of your day, and be sure to check us out at the Run Your Day Facebook page as well, and follow me on Twitter, the Runwage, the at Runwage on Twitter. As always, thank you all for joining. It's always a pleasure. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.